Hello and welcome to the United Stand. This is your Manchester United transfer news daily where we talk about all the latest Manchester United transfer news and give it that real fan opinion. Lots to be talking about as per usual. Ed Woodward's not gone on the US tour, so surely he's doing business. Wimbledon's over, he can't be watching tennis, he's got to be doing business. And maybe Daley Blind will go now. He's competing with Darmian with the most boring transfer of the summer. So hopefully he will be gone and we can move on and start signing some players. But let's start off with Anthony Martial. Now I get a lot of people asking me about Martial and why I think he's going to go. Even though he's your favourite player, surely you should be a bit positive. Well, I am being positive because I do think that Gareth Bale will come to Manchester United. I may be absolutely naive here, but I think he's going to come. And even if he doesn't come, I think we'll get Willian. The flip side of that is Martial's leaving. Martial will leave Manchester United because if we get Bale, there's no place for Martial anymore. If we get Willian, there's no place for Martial anymore. We're bringing in an attacker, another attacker, when we've already got Martial, Rashford, Lingard, Mata, Lukaku. Martial and then Bale and Willian. Martial will leave Manchester United. And the reason, there was something in the papers yesterday from Germany saying that Bayern Munich, because Robben and Ribéry are getting old now, they want a replacement and Martial would suit them really well. I think he would suit them really well. I wouldn't like it if he's going to leave Manchester United. I wouldn't want him to go to Bayern Munich anyway because it's such a pub league if he played for Bayern Munich. But if he played week in, week out there, he'd be a fantastic player for them. But the reason I think that Martial will leave Manchester United is because it's, I look at things, sometimes I look at it evidentially and I think, well, Mourinho bought Sanchez because he wanted Sanchez in January. He shocked us all because we thought, oh yeah, Sanchez on the right, Martial on the left, Lukaku up front, what a front three. Never happened. It was Martial off on the bench, Sanchez on the left. And that happened for 4 months, even though Sanchez was crap. It still happened. Sanchez has got a whole summer off this summer. He's going to be fit and raring to go, and I'm hoping we're going to see the real Sanchez. But I don't think Mourinho's not going to change his mind about Sanchez. He's the best played player in the league. He's Mourinho's man. This has got to be right. Mourinho's stubborn with people like Fellaini and Ashley Young. He's going to be double stubborn with someone like Alexis Sánchez. So Alexis Sánchez will play on the left midfield, and Rashford's been coming on for him. So Martial's still going to be a squad player next season. Mourinho cannot offer Martial what he wants, which is first team football, because Lukaku plays up front, Sanchez plays on the left, and on the right hand side, he's never going to use Martial there. But even if he does, he's got Lingard, he's got Mata, or he's got a Willian or a Bale. So Martial's way into the team just isn't there. So the comments from his agent about him being unhappy still stand. I don't see how Martial stays at Manchester United unless he accepts I'm just going to play sporadically off the bench. So I don't see Martial staying at Manchester United, and that is why. And I do think he'll leave. And in this summer that we've had so far, where it's been quite upsetting, some of the things that have happened, that will obviously be the cherry on the cake. But I do not see Martial staying. And hopefully I'm setting myself up for he signs a new contract and I'll be celebrating like the rest of you. But let's talk about Rebic. Rebic and Perisic are apparently going to come to Manchester United in a £90 million deal, I heard last night. Perisic isn't going to come to Manchester United. No way is he going to come to United. He actually said after the World Cup final that he's not thinking about leaving Inter. Inter have got money now. We had one chance to get him last summer and that was it. He's a great, really, really good player. I wanted him last summer. I know some United fans didn't want him, but he would have proved you wrong. He's really what Manchester United need. He isn't Bale. He isn't Ronaldo. He's not a star player. He's a footballer. He's what Mourinho likes. He actually grafts, but he can literally deliver with crosses and free kicks, but also good in the air, fast, skillful. He would have been brilliant at Manchester United and he would have served the Premier League brilliantly well, but I don't think we can do that deal anymore. And he's also touching 30, so we probably shouldn't do it anyway for the money that Inter would want, which would be more than last year. But Rebic is a player that when I was doing the World Cup watch-alongs on That's Football, I said Rebic looks really good. He looks like a younger version of Perisic. But this was in the group stage. Actually, you should never judge a player on the World Cup anyway, especially if they've got no pedigree away from the World Cup. Looking at someone like Harry Maguire and saying he'd be a good signing for United's fine if you've watched him in the Premier League for Leicester, because what he did in the World Cup, he's been doing for Leicester. But if you look at Rebic, very, very inconsistent. Yeah, he scored a few goals against Bayern Munich for Frankfurt, but he's very inconsistent. He's done a lot of loan moves, and no doubt Eintracht Frankfurt want to sell him because they only bought him for a pittance. But he's very inconsistent, and even in the World Cup, he had a few good games, and then he went disappearing. The final he wasn't very good. The semi-final wasn't that good either. Is that the sort of player that you want at Manchester United for 40 million quid? No, he's not. I'd rather have Willian, because Willian has got a pedigree in the Premier League and has proved himself in the Champions League. Rebic hasn't, and Rebic is basically, I think he's 24, and he's a development player who may never be good enough. He's an Everton signing. I think he'd go to Everton and do okay. He's not a Manchester United signing as far as I'm concerned. I'd be amazed if we did it, but for the right reasons, we shouldn't do it. I mean, that is the typical sign someone from the World Cup who's got no pedigree domestically and has just had a half-decent World Cup. Not for me. Now, Kovačić, on the other hand, didn't really play in the World Cup because that dream midfield of Rakitic, Modric and Brozovic did so well. Kovačić came on as a bench player in some of the games but couldn't get near it in the semi-final or the final. I really like Kovačić at Real Madrid. Has the similar problem at Real Madrid, can't get into the first team. He has said he wants to move. He needs to play first team football. And the World Cup was probably highlighted that to him, that here's his country playing in a World Cup final and he can't get near the team. So he needs to play first team football. Manchester United, Kovačić, would I like it to happen? Yes, I would. He reminds me, as I said a few weeks ago, he reminds me of a sort of a Steven Gerrard. Obviously, he's not on the level of Gerrard. Gerrard was fantastic at that age, but he likes to drive forward with the ball. He can switch the play with a long ball. He's fast. He can dribble, like I say. He can tackle. He's tenacious. I like Kovačić, and I think he'd suit the Premier League really well. Do I think Manchester United are going to do that deal? No, I don't. I don't think we will be in for him. I don't think we're going to do another midfield deal. But I would like us to sign Kovačić, because you look at Manchester United on the US tour, Ander Herrera's there, Fosu Mensah's there, Pereira's there, McTominay's there, Ethan Hamilton's there. They're all kids apart from Herrera. And they're all inexperienced apart from Herrera. But we've only got Fellaini, Fred, Matic and Pogba to come back. 5 midfielders. So I'd like us to have 6 because we play a midfield 3. So Kovačić would be really useful for Manchester United, or a Milinkovic-Savic, which I don't think we're going to do either. But I can see Kovačić going to Man City. They've missed out on Jorginho. I think they could get Kovačić, who actually I think is a better signing than Jorginho. Maybe he's not the better signing for what Pep wants, because Jorginho just picks the ball up and passes it. But I think actually the way he would suit the Premier League, I think he would be fantastic for them. But you know, he has been linked to us again. Maybe he'll stay at Real Madrid. Maybe he won't. I just think that it's 3 weeks on Friday that we play our first game against Leicester. 3 weeks now, and we've been saying for about 6 weeks, we're going to do something. We're going to do something. I do think things are going on with Ed Woodward, but what I really wanted to do, actually, I just remind myself, is get in the comments below, because we've done this a couple of times over the last 3 months in the transfer window. Comment below. I want you to fly your flag to the mast here and get off the fence. Just comment below and say yes or no whether we're going to do any more signings and who you think we're going to get. Don't bother with don't bother with who we're going to sell, because who knows. How many signings are we going to do in the next 3 weeks, and who do you think it's going to be? Because I want to look back at those in 3 weeks' time and see how right you were. I know we did it at the start of the transfer window. My 3 were Fred, Sandro and Milinkovic-Savic. So I got 1 right, but there's still 3 weeks left. But I just want to see from this point. My 2 are going to be Bale and Sandro. I said it last night. I know it's massively naive. I know you're going to say you've got no chance, Mark. You're being an idiot. But you've got to. One thing about Manchester United, it's like the banner that they have at the ground. It's the believe. You've got to believe. I've got to believe that Manchester United, the biggest club in the world, are going to actually do something to try and win the league. Because as one of our callers said last night on the Skype show, make sure you watch that if you missed it. Some brilliant calls last night. We are Manchester United, and we should be challenging for the title. But at the moment, Fred, a third choice keeper, and the lot, it's not really an improvement on last season, is it? It really isn't. And we need to do a lot more than that. And if we don't do any more than that, it really does evidence that there is no drive from those above to try and win the Premier League at Manchester United. There's a hope, but hope is one thing. The owners should be providing the tools to the manager to go and do it. And I will always say this about Jose Mourinho, whether you're in or you're out, I guarantee you that if he had £400 million to spend, he'd spend it. He'd spend every single penny, because that squad needs it. So he's only spending what he's allowed to spend, and we do need to spend a lot more. But what we're going to do, I mean, the big question that's floating around at the moment, what if we don't get Gareth Bale, what next? Well, it's probably going to be Willian, and that is massively disappointing. I do like Willian. There's videos of me a year ago and 2 years ago saying I like Willian, and I think 2 years ago he would have been a good signing for us, but he's 30 in August. But more than anything, really, he is inconsistent, and all the things, the reasons people don't want him, I agree with. But the most of all, it's signing it's not even signing a Real Madrid cast-off or a Barcelona cast-off. It's signing a player Chelsea don't want again. And since when did Manchester United start doing that? I mean, Van Persie was one thing from Arsenal. He was one of the best players in the world at the time. But Matic, Willian, even Sanchez to a certain extent, you know, are they still top players, or are they coming towards the end of their career top players? And why are Manchester United doing that? So that's why I don't want Willian. Bale's a different kettle of fish. I can see some of you saying, well, what about Bale? Bale's a different kettle of fish, because Bale for me is still in the top 5 players in the world. Willian's not in the top 20. So that is the difference as to why you take Bale at 28, 29 over Willian, who's 30. But we'll have to just wait and see what we're going to do. We've got to do some business, folks. We've got to do some business. And I'm just going to choose to be positive and believe that we are going to do some, because you drive yourself crazy. I see it on social media. You drive yourself crazy if you think, I would urge everyone to believe that we're going to sign players, because if you spend the next 3 weeks going, we're not signing anybody, you're going to drive yourself crazy. So, thanks everyone for watching. Please drop a like on the video. Please be positive. Ed Woodward's going to deliver, and all this moaning we've been doing for the last few weeks is going to disintegrate into positivity. I truly believe it. And the US tour is going to be fantastic, because we've got all these youngsters who are going to show what the future can be when we get a manager who actually plays them. But I've also got, actually, first pre-season preview of the season. This lunchtime at 1 o'clock, it is Manchester United versus Club America preview. We'll be previewing the game. Really looking forward to that. Join us at 1 o'clock for that live if you can. And then tonight at 8 o'clock as per usual. Thanks everyone for watching. Drop a like on the video. Speak to you all soon. And give us your comments below. How many more signings are we're going to do, and who? Go for it.